Today, Germany deals responsibly with the legacy of pain it brought Europe. Germany knows the importance of a well-informed electorate. Every school child learns of the Holocaust with a visit to a concentration camp. And Nazi documentation centers in major cities tell the story. It's all part of an educational program to teach how fascism took hold here and how it led to some of the worst horrors in history.
In Germany, we definitely believe that education is one of the main ways to make sure that something like this will not be repeated.
Because if you know what mechanisms were working and what mechanisms of economy and politics were at play in the 1920s and 30s, then you can see what is happening today and try to prevent it.
Education is everything. Even for there to be an electorate that is capable of thinking independently, you need that electorate to be educated.
Focus on the education system. Make citizens more than consumers. And very importantly, having media that are not biased, independent information.
But perhaps most important is the preservation of government by the Constitution and the rule of law, and not by the dictates of a charismatic, all-powerful leader.
When there's great fear of the future, where what people have feels threatened and they're afraid to lose it, then it's easy for populism to come into play, and it's easy for leaders who present themselves as interpreters of that to take hold.
One of the things that you can do to make sure that something like this will not happen here or in other countries is not trust people that promise you very easy answers for very complicated problems. It never works.
Democracy is fragile, and it should not be taken for granted. So to defend it, I think, is important. I think we can learn not to follow leaders into the abyss and to maintain critical, independent thinking.
As we've seen through the story of fascism in Europe, charismatic leaders rose to power through the democratic process and then seized extra-constitutional power by unlawful means. When citizens allowed leaders to do this, individual freedoms and rights soon fell by the wayside, and democracy was lost. While democracy was restored to Western Europe, it easily could have been lost forever, and the cost was millions of lives. As history continues to unfold around us today, it's important to remember that freedom and democracy are not guaranteed. We are all participants, and we are all responsible.
The story of fascism in Europe has taught us that strong and charismatic leaders can capitalize on fear to lead a society astray. Democracy is fragile. It requires a vigilant and engaged populace. And if you take freedom for granted, you can lose it. Thanks for joining us. I'm Rick Steves. Until next time, travel thoughtfully.